May 30, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. The only economic data that was important or might have really moved the market came out around 5:30 Pacific Standard, which is about right here. Caused this big surge up. It was the core PCE Price Index. And then right around 7, it was a smaller effect, but it was the right about here was the revised consumer sentiment, and overall it really didn't move the market. This is what the overall chart looked like in the pre-market. Carryover from yesterday just was choppy. One leg up, sell off, another leg up. Looks like a sell-off, consolidation, break. There was this big sharp sell-off here, kind of a bounce, in this very long and gradual rally that took up pretty much a good 3-4 hours of the day into a sideways consolidation. I managed to take one trade today, which is right here, was profitable, but I didn't really see that many setups despite these very nice big moves, unfortunately. So I'm going to get into the trades right now. So pre-market, it was just kind of choppy, sold off, bounced, kind of made a double top, sold off, bounced, kind of made this choppy move. I don't know what caused this big sell-off right here, because this is a really large 17-point candle. Came all the way down, bounced up. Looked like it was two measured legs, but this is the pre-market. It looked like it made two measured legs back up, also fit somewhat nicely in this yellow up channel. I saw a second entry short here because this is a localized new low, bounce off this confirmed yellow up channel. So from here, it's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. Second entry short made a double top, then reversed strongly, engulfed this previous candle. So actually the second entry short signal bar is this guy because this is the first break below. This candle broke below this guy. So you'd actually see this as a first entry short, second entry short, but visual, it's like a first entry, pullback. This is a better second entry. You could consider this maybe the signal bar or the trigger bar. The thing I didn't really like about this is only 17 seconds into the open. So it already printed these two candles and then this one printed. There's not that much room into this potential support. So I was concerned that it might have a bounce here and push back up. Plus, if it does push through, there's also the EMA that it's running into. So I called it an almost trade, didn't really mark it up, or didn't really put in the notes, but it's a trade. I guess if you're more aggressive, you might have been able to take it and you would have been okay. Then prices start moving down this. Looked like it has a first entry long pullback, second entry long. It's a bad signal bar, inside bar to this guy. No real trade that I can see. It's this consolidation area. There is a second entry short here, but this isn't a really good signal bar to go short on either. It just looks like it's sideways. Pushes up. This could be a lower high, but this lower high here, it's going to run into this support range because I was thinking it was in this range, potential fail breakout. Maybe it's going to have a fail breakout on this side. What I was thinking when I saw this in real time, but this isn't a good enough trade just because there is clearly some kind of resistance right here or support or resistance to the downside, which is moves down on this orange down channel. It's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. This is your signal bar to go short. Not a very good signal bar. If you wanted to see if it was worthwhile taking a trade after the trigger bar formed, which is this bar here, you'd put it one tick below here, but you would never get filled. And once you see this close, you should abandon any hope of taking a short trade here because it's just a little ambiguous. Prices move up. It looks like it was a couple of legs up. Look, one leg up, pull back, second leg up, pull back, a third leg up. But I also saw maybe this dominating yellow up channel. Even though I found this, or I was thinking of playing off of this yellow up channel, there was no clean second entries. You have a second entry long here, but it's a bad signal bar. It's inside to this guy, and it's the wrong color. Plus, you really don't have any other key entry points. You could argue for a potential triple test right across here. But even if with the triple test going for it, it doesn't feel like a safe trade just because, it's just kind of in the middle of nowhere. Plus, if you did draw this as a range, it's already near the top of the range. Even if you drew it a little bit wider than I did, like if you had it slightly higher up here, you're already potentially running into the range. Plus, it looks more likely to fit roughly down here. So it moves up gradually on this red up channel, breaks, first entry long, pullback, second entry long, second entry long. I thought this might have actually been a possible trade because it's a lower high here. Break of this green down channel needs to test the low. Technically has an EMA rejection. It's a good signal bar. It ticked one tick above, I think one or two ticks above, and then flushed down, closed strongly at the lows. So I thought this might have been a worthwhile trade because it's what you see in real time. It would have worked. Then it's hit sideways consolidation. It looks like a 1, 2, 3 triple test, but there's no setup here other than a triple test for me to feel confident. It's a good signal bar, but it's also inside this bar, so that makes it not as good a signal bar. You can say this is a new high, first entry long. By the technical count, it's a second entry, then a third entry, or you can see as a visual first entry. Pullback, you still kind of have a second entry and then a third. So maybe there's a multiple test here. It just isn't good enough. You have the small shortened trend channel, purple coming down, break. Maybe it's going to test the low. So it's just a little ambiguous. Price and then continue. I have a failed breakout, or what I think is a failed breakout here. Pushes back in, creates a higher low. So it's a new high, or technically it's a new high. First, I also saw it's 2 legs down. And then if you take this as a localized high, first entry long pullback, second entry long pullback, this is creating a higher low. I thought this is a possible trade because it's coming from a failed breakout bounce off of what I think is the range. Decent signal bar, and there's enough room to the highs here. So it would have worked. Starts moving up what I think is this yellow up channel, but then immediately reverses back down. So I'm still thinking you're trading this range now. You also see a new low, first entry short pullback, second entry short, and then this is actually where I take my one and only trade. So I saw it as a visual first entry, pullback. Technically you have a second and third, but I also saw it as a first, second, push up. Looks like it's going back into range. Then it pushes really strongly back down. And as I was closing and engulfing this guy, it actually broke below this guy. I dropped in my order, came back, picked me up, and then closed higher than my entry. So that did have me a little concerned that it could potentially move back into this blue range. But it flushes down and takes out this profit target, which is pretty great. I actually went for 2 points, and then it just kind of starts chopping sideways. Technically, you have a new high here. It's the first entry long, pullback, second entry long. This is your signal bar to go long, or signal bar for the second entry, but it's a bad signal bar. Inside bar to this, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Clearly, prices have already broken out, so this isn't really a good trade. You have a failed second entry long, so I'm looking for maybe a potential lower high, but once it breaks below this double bottom, I'm thinking the trade has already been made, so there's no real setup to be searching for here now. Prices move down on this green down channel, starts reversing, first entry short, second entry short, bad signal bar to go short on. You can also see it as a visual first entry, pullback, second entry. However, this is also a bad signal bar because it's inside to this guy. So no real setup here, in my opinion. Prices move down. It gets a little choppy. It looks like it was one leg up, pullback, potentially made a second measured leg up, localized new low, first entry short. But by the time it moves back down here, there's really no setup that I could see. So it's just more sit and wait. Pushes down, you have first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long right here, but there's no real key entry point. Plus, it's in the middle of the range. It's just trying to figure itself out, or at least I'm trying to figure it out. Prices continue moving down. Starts moving down. You have second entries in here, but not necessarily good clean setups. Plus, no real key entry points, making lower lows every time. I found this yellow down channel. This is the first time it touches. Unfortunately, I didn't feel confident about it because there's no real setup here. And red line is making the new low of day. It's too close. If this was just kind of in some kind of range and this red line was further down where you clearly knew that it's not trying to press new lows, then maybe there would have been a trade here because you could say it's one touch, two touch, three touch, fourth touch rejection. But since it's already making new lows, I'm a little leery of trying to sell into the lows. And it's unfortunate too because this is a very nice, strong move down. It's a new low. It's a first entry short pullback. Technically a second entry short here, measured leg up. It's a bad signal bar. I don't really like it. I didn't have this red channel established yet. I did have a trend line right here. And then it bounces here. So this is actually kind of an interesting area. So I saw this as like a new low. It's a first entry short pullback. Technically I have a second entry short. In real time, I saw this potential lower high. So this lower high There's a break of this yellow down channel. It looks like you're expecting it to test the low. You have two measured legs up, slightly bigger though. Pushes, and then it tries to push up, and then it gets rejected hard. So it's like a lower high. So I actually thought this was a possible trade. I didn't take it though. It's a strong push below the EMA. I wasn't super confident at this red up channel yet, or red trend line, and I actually had this a little bit tighter. So I treated this as a failed breakout. First attempt, and I'm thinking, could there be a second attempt up? Because it's a failed breakout here, two attempts, and then create a corresponding symmetrical break on this side. So in all actuality, I think I would have tried to take a trade here because I wasn't super confident about the bounce off of here. It looks like it would have filled me, and this candle would have taken me out if I took this trade. Also, it's a new high here, first entry long pullback, second entry long. It's also a first entry short, second entry short. Right here, it looks like the second entry short's about to fail, plus it's bounced off this red up channel. And depending on how you drew it, there could be enough room to the highs. So I thought this is also a possible trade. So this one would have been a possible trade, in my opinion, that would have lost, that would have gotten trapped. And then this is also a possible trade. However, if I took this, in the instance if I took this and I lost, I don't know if I would have had the mental fortitude to quickly take a reversal on this. So it pushes up. First entry long, second entry long, pushes up, kind of breaks to the high and then pushes back down. Looks like it's in this green down channel. No clean second entries here. Yep, technically you have a localized high here. Say first entry long, pullback. Technically you have a second entry long here, but it looks more like a visual first entry, like two legs down. So if you counted it here, you wouldn't go long anyways because you look like you're in this leg down. So you'd be concerned about buying into this down channel resistance. So really no trade here. Plus, it looks like at this point it's just in the sideways chop. So you'd also be contending with the fact that you have this diagonal resistance coming down and a potential top of this small little range here. Prices move down. It just gets very spindly. All these candles are pretty much closing at the middle and their bodies are really small. Pushes back up. Pushes up in this orange up channel. Looks like a first entry long pullback. You technically have a second entry long here. It's a bad signal bar. Bounce off the EMA, but it's not good enough. By the time this one forms, I'm thinking I might be in a range with a sideways consolidation. There's a break of this orange, push to the high. So I'm thinking maybe this uptrend has played out, but now it's in the sideways consolidation. Not the best trading right here because it's just very tight. Which is new low, first entry short, and it just kind of breaks out. It's a failed breakout of this range. At least I think it's a range. You don't even get a lower high here. Technically, this high is lower than this one, but it's not really set up quite right. This looks like it's pushing back into this potential range. New high, first entry long pullback. Technically, you get your second entry long right here, but these aren't very good signal bars. Pushes up, bounces. So I drew this, and I couldn't quite get this to fit quite right. And I did see a higher low here because it was a new high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long here. Have a higher low here, but there's really no room before you hit this resistance. So I left it alone because I did like it that it bounced off the EMA, but unfortunately the previous price action didn't push and raise the bar over here. Prices continue moving up. It's the sideways consolidation. It just gets a little bit volatile here. Pushes up. This is when I turn my trend line into more of a channel because it looks like it was good confirmation at the high side. Another sideways consolidation, not the best area to look for a second entry. Also, not the best area to play range rules when the range is very tiny because this range is roughly only about 5 points. And if you're going for a 2-point scalp or a 1-point scalp, and the candles themselves are already looking like they're 3 to 4 points, it's very hard to try to get a entry and exit out of this safely. So you're just watching, and there's so many dojis in a row. You have a new high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long. I actually thought this was a possible trade. It's a failed breakout of this low range. Looks like it's a triple or multiple test down here. Looks like there was 2 legs down, 1 leg down, pullback, second leg down, pushing back up. EMA in the past has been acting as a pretty decent support. So I thought there actually might have been a possible trade here with a good signal bar. So it would have been enough for a quick 1-point, maybe 2-point scalp. Bounces off this yellow up channel, so it's confirmed pretty nicely now. Pushes up through the trading range. Gets choppy, me put that back right here. Stretch it. Okay, cool. Pushes back up. No clean second entries. Technically, you have a first entry long. You have technically a second entry long here, but I think I visually saw it as a first entry, pullback second entry. But it's not really a good signal bar bouncing off the EMA. If you're going short, you're going to short into the EMA on a clearly bullish bias market. If you try to go long, this isn't a really good signal bar to go long on. Technically, you have a second entry long by the technical count. First entry, second entry here, but it's not a good signal bar. You might be looking for a higher low, but you really don't get a higher low. And just keeps going. This yellow up channel is fitting pretty nicely. Bounces again. It's like a first entry. Technically, you have a second entry here, like visual, but I mean, there's no, by the technical count, it is a first. Well, it's actually only a first entry, but if you saw it as a visual first, second, I think I should probably mark it, but I didn't see it in real time. It is nice that it moved one tick below and flushed back up. Unfortunately, closed right below the EMA, so it would give me a little bit of pause. I'd be looking for a higher low, which you'd never get. So there's a possible trade here if you're a little more aggressive. Pushes, breaks through. Pretty much a first entry, second entry, and then hits a new low, so this can't be a higher low. Pushes up, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short, but it's a bad signal bar inside to this guy. The body is too bullish. Presses down. Looks like it's one leg, pull back, second leg. Technically, you have a second entry long here, and I thought this is actually a decent setup, but it's too late in the day because you have a triple test, second entry long, two legs down, decent setup, good signal bar. The only problem is there's only 6 minutes left in the day. Plus, if you look at this, is kind of wild. In the last 6 minutes, all these candles printed. So I think this is kind of due to it being a Friday and also the last trading day of May that people are either taking profits, rolling things over, because I thought there was a possible second entry short here with the failed breakout, but it's too late in the day to try to take this trade because this is like 2 minutes before the close. So it's just too risky, too dicey. But had this shown up any other time, like in regular trading hours, then I think it would have been a worthwhile trade to take. So then just kind of pushes and oscillates into the close. Overall, pretty, I wouldn't say it was, I mean, the price action was there. It wasn't as difficult as it has been in the past, but it really didn't yield too many setups, unfortunately, even with these big swings and big legs, both up and down. So was pretty happy with my one trade, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. So hopefully that was helpful.